What is up, guys? Welcome back to Picking a Fight. I'm Lach.
I'm Jeff.
And today we're going to be looking at the main event of UFC 266, Alex the Great Volkanovski versus Brian T. City Ortega. What you think, man?
I think this is going to be a close one, but I think Ortega has the advantage here, I think.
In what way?
On the feet. Well, I don't see I could see Volkanovski like wrestling his way through this, but I don't know. I mean, like Brian Ortega, I feel like even though he hasn't used his, grappling or jiu-jitsu in a while, like, I think he's a very dangerous guy still on the ground. So I don't know if Volkanovski necessarily wants to go there with him, because he's not like Max Halloway. Max Halloway, I felt like he has a good takedown defense, but I wouldn't say that Max is like Ortega level on the ground though. Like if he can't get up, but yeah. So I don't think Volkanovski wants to go to the ground with Ortega, and I think Ortega looked, according to his last fight, I think he looked more fluid. And Volkanovski, I mean, he's not bad on the feet, but by any means. But I just think Ortega is gonna, I think he's gonna piece him up, honestly.
Yeah.
What
Yeah,
you
I
think?
disagree, man. I think Ortega's. I mean, I agree with some points you made. I think for sure Volkanovski would not look to grapple. I just think because I think Ortega's too dangerous off his back to get involved into any of that, right? And like, I mean, over the years you've seen great wrestling can nullify great jiu-jitsu, right? Because you're controlling them, you're kind of not leaving yourself exposed. But I don't think Volkanovski's wrestling is like that good where he can negate Ortega's grappling from his back. So I'm pretty sure he should try to avoid that. Like, for real, like, don't try to grapple with this guy. He'll grab your neck if you let him, bro. So I don't think so. But I think striking, I actually think Volkanovski's ability to cut people's like momentum off is gonna be on display again. I mean, he did that especially really well in the first Holloway fight, where he's getting pressed back, but he's the one kind of like not letting you go. But every time you're trying to go, he kicks you, or he punches you, or he moves, right? And I think it's gonna happen the same thing with Ortega. And since Ortega's striking is a little less developed in terms of like not only just like throwing combinations and stuff, but like of like finding angles and stuff like that. Since he's a little green to that, I don't see him having the formula to stopping Volkanovski on the feet. I think if anything, maybe he looks to grapple. I mean, he submitted guys from grabbing them when they weren't on the ground yet. Like he took Cub's neck from there. Yeah. So I mean, if he can just get near him, maybe he can, throw something up there. But I see Volkanovski kind of winning this fight, kind of like the first Holloway fight, where it's kind of like a really slow burner. He's kind of just stopping Ortega from coming forward, messing with his rhythm, stuff like that, and then just kind of winning the rounds, snatching the rounds one by one. I don't see Volkanovski winning. I mean, I've said this before. I think Volkanovski's power is not really impressive for the division. I mean, because some people say he's like a knockout artist. Yeah, he has power in his hands, and I mean he does. He's strong, but he doesn't have that knockout power. He's not the hardest one hitting 145. He's not that type of guy, and so I don't see him being able to put out Ortega with like one shot. But I mean it could happen, but I don't see that happening, and I don't see Volkanovski looking for the grappling unless he's trying to mix something up just to mix it up. I see him kind of just winning this on a slow decision and kind of just outpointing and taking the rounds from Ortega. But
True. I don't know. I think it's gonna fall more like the Korean Zombie Ortega fight. I think. I do think it's gonna be a little slower, like you said, but I think Ortega is gonna, find his way through it like he did in there. Like he was very sneaky with like some of the things he did, on the feet, and I don't think he's gonna land as many, with Volkanovski, but I do think that he's gonna catch him by surprise sometimes. I don't think he's gonna finish him though, so I think this is also gonna go to decision. I do believe it's gonna be a slow burner too. But I just think Ortega is gonna win the fight. I think he has the height advantage. I don't know. He could use that to his advantage.
That's true. But I mean he's not used to using all those tools in that way. But hopefully he's been training that. But I don't know. I just think Ortega, that fight was a little different because Zombie was pressing forward a lot, Like when he would come in, he would crash in almost, and then that's why he ran into that spinning elbow a few times, I think, right?
Yeah.
And I think Volkanovski's not that type of fighter. I think he can play it safe from the outside and win this fight, and I think that's kind of the route he's gonna take. Because if he tries to crash in, he can get hurt. I mean, he got hurt in the second Holloway fight, you know, on his way out. So, I mean, he has to be careful doing that, and I just don't see him needing that to win, where he has to kind of push too hard. But one of the biggest factors of this is Ortega's striking. Like, you know, it developed really well during his time off.
Yeah.
But I mean, how much has it really developed? You know, was it only impressive because, you know, he was able to hurt Zombie and then keep that same kind of style up, or, you know, and then did that make us kind of perceive his striking as like, oh my God, like, you know, Max Halloway type, you know, best boxer in the UFC, right?
Yeah, that's true.
Is it like making us overestimate his striking? I think it is. I think it's making us overestimate his striking, and I think it's just not there yet. You know, like some people practice years boxing, you know, and they're striking to kind of get. He did look fluid, though. I'll give you that. Like his punches, his strikes, his combinations, they felt like they were coming out smoother and more in rhythm. But I don't know. I think when the experience will be the difference. I think Volkanovski, he's gonna kind of fight his fight. You know, I mean, he said it over and over again. Like people fight his fight, and I think he's gonna do that. I think he's gonna lull Ortega into his own fight, and I don't think Ortega's skilled enough yet to kind of get himself out of that and to kind of like change it up. But I like Ortega's chances of an upset though. I can honestly see him getting tangled up and then getting a submission. I'd be very surprised, bro. I'll give you a lot of props if he does end up dominating on the feet, Ortega.
Yeah.
Because, I mean, you got to keep in mind, everybody has a height and reach advantage on Volkanovski, and he's undefeated in the UFC. So, I don't know, man. That's why I think Volkanovski, from what I've seen, is going to be able to get this done. And I think he wins by decision. And honestly, I just pray, man, for Volkanovski's sake, that it's not a boring fight, man.
Right.
I mean, he's received a lot of criticism about, you know, his style and how his fights have not really been, you know,
the greatest. He would kind of.
Yeah, and you know, I mean, no offense, but like his popularity is also not up there compared to some of the other champions.
Yeah.
And I mean, when you win fights kind of like he did his last two fights, I mean, it really, you know, doesn't put you in the best position to kind of get some fans or something like that. So
yeah, for sure.
Yeah, hopefully for his sake, he gets either maybe a finish or he look like fucking Muhammad Ali out there,
right.
And you know, pieces him up. But I think it's gonna be like a slow kind of burn. And I think Volkanovski wins. But you got Ortega, right?
Yeah, I got Ortega winning, but
edging him out, or you think he takes all the rounds, kind of?
I think he edges him out. I don't think he takes all the rounds, but
yeah. I mean, we've seen Volkanovski can get tagged. You know,
yeah,
he got dropped. Sure. Excuse me, he got dropped in back-to-back rounds against Holloway. He got dropped against Chad Mendes. You know, he's hittable. You know, so is Ortega, but I mean, we've never seen Ortega go down like that. He's
never been knocked out, I think.
For real?
I
didn't know that.
I'm pretty sure he hasn't been knocked out.
I don't know. I mean, he got pieced up though. Nah, but he got pieced up, and I mean,
by Holloway, right?
Yeah. But I don't think Volkanovski is like the boxer Holloway is to do that type of damage.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, that's what I think. So you got Ortega by decision.
Yeah.
And I mean, they were talking about in the press conference what's next for either of these guys. And it sounds like if Ortega wins, Volkanovski's not getting a rematch. It sounds like whoever takes this has Holloway next if he doesn't fight Yair. So
that'd be cool. Holloway's still the number one contender, right?
Yeah, he's still number one. I mean, that's good for him, though. I mean, he's still staying active, you know. Yeah, took out Calvin Kattar. Looked great. Go ahead, my bad.
I was going to say, people keep trying to cut in front of him, but he's not letting him, right?
Exactly, bro. And the thing is, I don't want Yair to fight him because I feel like Yair hasn't fought anybody. And how's he going to fight for the number one contender spot? If anything, Giga, because Giga's been active, in my opinion. You know, he's fought Cub. He beat Cub in the first round, right?
Yeah.
The body kick. And then he just finished Edson Barboza. So I was like, I feel like he deserves maybe the number one contender shot or maybe fight someone else that's highly ranked, like Zombie or something. But I don't know, man. I don't want Yair. No offense to Yair as a B, but I mean they got a lot of hype behind them. But they can't like they're trying to jump the line, bro. And it's like I don't want that because Yair, in my opinion, is a dangerous fight for Max, and I don't want to see Max lose to someone like Yair just for Yair to get pieced up and the championship fight, and Max never gets the shot again. But I don't know what's next for either guy. Is Holloway, for Volkanovski's. For both guys, it's something similar they've already seen before. Max has leveled up a little bit, but both these guys have too. So I think either way, especially depending on the outcome, if somebody finishes somebody else, like if somebody gets the finish, I think, man, there's gonna be a pretty good hype behind the Holloway rematch with whoever it is. But yeah, man, those are a little rambling, but yeah, man, those are our thoughts. Our predictions on the main card, the main event of UFC 266, Brian Ortega versus Alex Volkanovski. Let us know what you think. Do you think Alexander the Great Volkanovski gets to keep his belt, or do you think Brian Ortega poses a new challenge with his new and improved style and takes it home for the Cali boys? Right. But yeah, don't forget to follow us on Instagram at Picking a Fight. We post highlights, all this stuff. Go ahead and follow us over there, and don't forget to check out our other videos. We're actually putting out some other videos for every other fight on this main card. There's some great fights there. Another championship fight, Valentina. Obviously, the return of Nick Diaz. You got Curtis Blades on there, and you got Cynthia Calvillo and Andrade. It's gonna be a good fight. Some bangers on the prelim. You got Dan Hooker fighting Hack Perez. That fight is actually happening. Uros Medic, if you know who he is, bro, you're gonna know who he is after this weekend. And yeah, don't forget to tune in, man. It's gonna be a great plethora of fights, man. All right, man. We'll see you then, man. Take care.
See ya.